Countless movements to reform Albany, but despite dedicated efforts from many, there's been little actual reform. And the March of Scandals has continued, witness Pedro Espada. Now, good government groups are taking a new approach, trying to force all lawmakers and legislative leaders to go on the record with their reform plans. Joining me now to talk more about the new movement is one of the key players behind the push. John Caney is the executive director of Reinvent Albany, and he joins us in the studio tonight. John, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
So give me the synopsis of what exactly it is you're trying to do.
So Reinvent Albany is a new group that just launched today in conjunction with the public launch of Albany on the Record, which is our May 5th event in partnership with all of the traditional good government groups, NYPIRG, League of Women Voters, Common Cause, Citizens Union, Brennan Center, and a whole big roster of civic groups. And what we're doing is creating a live town square, which is going to be webcast across New York State, and we've invited all of the top elected officials to tell New Yorkers how are they going to restore the public's trust in the wake of the endless scandals and controversies that we're seeing now. We're going to give them an unfiltered, broadband venue to talk directly to New Yorkers.
It's a little scary, actually.
So we'll see what they have to say.
So the idea here is in some ways, you're utilizing technology, which, as we've mentioned, you went through this list of good government groups, right? And I would ask you why we need one more, but it also sounds to me that you're trying to maybe bring in some younger people, some people who haven't been involved before, using technology, maybe social media, live streaming of town squares and that kind of thing.
That's right. We're going to try to connect the enthusiastic Gov 2.0 or techno geeks, as they call themselves, or good Gov geek crowd with the traditional reformers up here and see if we can't energize the efforts to fix Albany, to improve state government for all New Yorkers.
Why do you think those people haven't actually, to this point, been engaged? I mean, you saw a surge of people, particularly young people, being interested in the 2008 presidential election. I mean, Barack Obama managed to harness this energy and excitement, and then it sort of fell off a little bit in his organizing effort. And why that didn't translate down to the state level?
Well, I think that state government in general across the whole United States is something that the public has a hard time getting enthused about. And it's not just New York, it's our neighbors in New Jersey and Connecticut. People like to complain a lot, but they don't tend to get energized and turn out and vote and participate and really, really work the system to change things. And maybe that's because state government seems distant, because state government provides funding. It doesn't provide services like towns and counties and cities do. So it's more abstract for people. There's also a generational divide where you have a lot of Obama voter types who have never really thought about all government. And you have one charismatic guy running for president that's pretty easy to understand and to get energized about. But then you look at the day in and day out of how state government works, it's not necessarily as exciting. And in fact, it can be really discouraging when you live in New York and all you see is scandals and you don't see a lot of substantive debate about how to fix the state's problems.
So how does it help then? I mean, you're going to have this town square thing, and it sounds kind of cool, and there'll be a buzz, and it'll get some press, and then elected officials will come and say, like they usually do, I'm for transparency, and I'm for open government, and I'm for all of these things, and then blah, like falls off the radar screen.
Well, we're going to try to do some stuff to make state government more easily understood by people who want to understand it. So that means doing things like demystifying the state budget. We're going to put up a website that shows how the state budget works in plain language. We're going to do some things like visualizations, charts and graphs and animations so that people can understand complex processes and budgets and have a much, much easier time of penetrating the fog and murk that is a lot of the business in Albany. And we think that that will lead to greater accountability and also bring in a new group of people.
Are you pushing for anything in particular in terms of platform like redistricting reform, which is something former Mayor Ed Koch in New York City is big on, or I don't know, campaign finance, which is something, public financing of campaigns, which Citizens